I take his camera off them, they'd be even happier. So yeah, I changed the irrigation system I've made for my wife. The fish kind of, you know, eat some of the pads whilst they're getting the pellets. I've just boiled the 2 static bits, and I'm going to focus now on this. Hello, it's Sunday, first day of the week, and I've been quite busy. So I've done a couple of things that aren't really garden related, but I'm going to show you them because I'm quite pleased with them. And a few things garden related and a few things pond related. So let me turn you around. Right then, so my garage is tidy once again, except for that's the problem corner of my garage. I may do something with that. Right. Women's Olympic road race. I've made a desk. It's a really bodged together desk, but it's just something for when I'm doing little jobs I don't really want to do in the house or on the table in the house or anything, but I just want to but I need to be sat down at a table to do them rather than I end up sitting on the floor or something, which is no good. So all of these bricks and tubs and drills and stuff, apart from them, they'll stay there. But the rest of all this won't stay there. That's purely because I've stuck a off-cut of lino on the top of it and I'm just gluing it down. The reason why I've done that is I just could not be bothered to sand this bit of OSB and pull out all the, countersink all the screws and all that sort of stuff. So I just thought I'd stick that lino to it, and that'll do the trick. And that'll save me all that job, and I won't have to paint it, so when I inevitably spill a drink on it, it won't matter. It was done with zero measuring. They were legs, I don't know what they were legs off. They were legs off something, those white pieces of wood. I don't know what. I've utterly bodged it. But yeah, it's just somewhere for me to do. I don't know if I'm doing some cables or I'm doing whatever, or if I do some more testing. There's my test kits in that white tub in there. So it's just, I thought it's just quite useful, and I can watch the telly and do whatever jobs. Anyway, noticed how I just about segued that into pond keeping. I thought I did quite well. Right, what other jobs have I done? That's a secret project that I'm not talking about. Right, I think I've talked about, I put that hose on the wall and took it off that planter. So this table that I think I saw in last week's vlog, I was painting. Well, I finished painting it, and then my wife's vegetable bags are now on there. That works really well. This is for my cats, and basically what it's there for is a way for them. Cats tend to, although they could quite easily jump off the top of that fence if they wanted to, they like to come down the easiest way. So what they invariably do is jump onto the greenhouse. And as you can see from all that extra plastic that's on the greenhouse, they end up damaging it. So I've made these little steps, and hopefully they'll find them and start using them. I will probably paint them at some point, black or brown, whatever I've got the most paint of. But obviously the cats will have to be locked away. Have I done anything else over? Oh yeah. What I did is I got some CT1 on the top of this, which if you don't know is a potting shelf that I made for my, sorry, film is worse than ever, isn't it? It's a potting shelf I made for my wife to go with her greenhouse. And what I did last night is I ran some CT1 down there, and that's just to stop, this isn't meant to be waterproof, but it's just to stop a lot of rain getting in a gap that was there and I couldn't fill. So I just put some CT1, and then I roughly painted some of the brown paint to make it look vaguely tidy. I didn't really care that much, and nor did my wife. There you go then. So I've been up to quite a lot. There's the fish. They are scoffing. I'm pretty darn happy too. Yeah. What else? What else have I done? I feel like I've done tons of jobs. Come back round here and the fish will be happy with me stood over the pond. Yeah, fish seem really healthy and just want that. As soon as I stand around here, they go over to the ring because they're expecting me to feed them, which isn't a dumb idea. Let's have a look at what the temperature is. As of now, it is 19.2. There we go. That air temperature is the temperature in the shed, which is a bit warmer than outside. So I don't think it's quite 24 degrees today. But yeah, pond temperature is 19. I'll be getting in this lovely pond tomorrow. I think that's everything. Oh, this scratching post I made for my cats, which I'm sure all you pond keepers are really, really interested in. I've stuck that toy to it because they're not using it to scratch on. And the whole point was to get them to scratch it. That's the other thing I've done. See this blue bit of hose on the top of my wife's raised beds. Follow all that. And come over here. Turn the tap on a little bit. Don't turn it on too much. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Bit of fine tuning, but yeah, it's just an easier way of watering them. And I think that is everything. This is probably some of my worst filming I've ever done. In my defence, I'm really tired. I didn't sleep very well last night and I got up really early and I cracked on with jobs basically, and I've been working in the garden since about 7 o'clock this morning and it is now, I think, about 1:30. Yeah. So I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, I sorted out a lot of jobs actually. Some jobs I haven't told you about. Oh, I can show you something. Bear with me. My adhesive measuring thing came, and I'm going to stick it to the smaller bowl. Well, it's not really a bowl. It's a tub. It's a rectangular tub. It's not blue, my tub, but then I don't have koi, so it don't need to be blue. I don't know what. I mean, I'm guessing koi bowls are blue because that shows off the most of the colours that koi have to their best, kind of thing. I guess that's why they're blue. But black's fine for mine. But I will stick this measuring thing on. I was going to say in time for when I measure them, but it's going to be February, so yeah, I think I've got plenty of time. But yeah, sorry I'm a bit frantic. I'm really, really hungry and I want something to drink. But yeah, I've got tons done. The garage is sorted out once again. I pretty much threw all of my what's the word? Offcuts of wood. I don't think I've got much left now. I haven't made a table. I was thinking of making a table kind of fold upable, but I have got some hinges and stuff, but I just couldn't be bothered. It just didn't seem worth it. So I just made it permanent. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Well, it's not, it's looking rubbish, but it's looking functional, and that's what I got it for. It's just for doing small jobs that I want to sit down and do. And yeah, I think it's going to be perfect. And I've got a light for it, which I'll show you once maybe show you tomorrow once that line on the top has dried and I've taken everything off and set it up how it's going to be. Yeah, I'll show you the light and stuff. I'm sure you're interested. I might do some water tests actually. I don't know why, because all the fish are great. I might just do out of interest water tests, especially nitrate, because I don't tend to do water tests. I think I've said before, I do water tests at the beginning of the year when I'm feeding. Well, not feeding, because I don't really ever completely stop feeding. I just get tinier and tinier with bigger gaps in between. But when I'm starting to ramp feeding up at the beginning of the year as the temperature's warming up and the fish are getting hungry, I do test then just to make sure I'm not overdoing it. And you usually get, spikes of ammonia and nitrate at that point as your filters are waking up, and you've got to kind of let that run its course as long as it's not too bad, And once I'm through that, I don't bother testing unless there's a problem, really. So yeah, it just doesn't seem worth it to me. Right, I'm going to stop waffling, otherwise another week's vlog is going to be around an hour. Thanks a lot for tuning in. More to come this week. Yeah, and I will see you later. Hello, Monday afternoon. Haven't got up to too much. It is a Monday, which means I get in the pond. So I got in the pond today and cleaned the pump, which had a bit of muck in it, some algae, which looks like the algae's dying off slowly, but it's getting there. Didn't have any of those little twigs which have come off the tree, and yeah, I think that's what was kind of really slowing it down and blocking it. Yeah, so cleaned that, cleaned the bottom of the pond and cut the plants, tidied up the lilies as best I can. Does seem to be a lot more this year, now they're all growing. Whilst I was tidying them up, I have this plan for next year. So as you know, I've got a feeding ring. And part of the problem why the lilies have been eaten away is because the food before the feeding ring was drifting into the lilies. And as the carp were eating the lilies, chomp, 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 they were also eating the pellets, chomp, chomp, chomp. They were also eating the lilies, because it's only the ones on the outside that have been eaten. So I'm hoping next year, as soon as the first lily gets to the surface of the water, if I'm not still using the feeding ring, I will put the feeding ring in then. And then I'll be able to get a better idea, because it's only a hypothesis that they're eating the lilies by accident, but or they're drawn to the lilies because of the pellets. So next year I'll try and use the feeding ring to protect the lilies a bit. That's a plan. Not a great plan, but it's a plan. Anyway, today, what I've been up to. Let's turn you around. I mean, I've kind of already started telling you what I've been up to. So the desk is finished. It's my little workshopy desk thing. I'm quite pleased with it. I'm very pleased with putting this vinyl lino top on. It's not perfectly glued, but it doesn't need to be. I've already done a bit of work. As you can see, measuring up that, seeing if I've had the right bits, because the irrigation for my wife's raised beds that I did yesterday, I think I could do better. And I think I could do better if I used that spare speed fit, because I like using speed fit for everything. But I just needed to make sure I had the right bits to connect it to hose pipe, so I'm not going to use speed fit for the whole length of it, because I don't think I've got enough bits. If I have enough bits, I might will. Anyway, so I'm quite happy with my garage now. Got a little chair, got a telly. Right, off we go. Let's take some food. Out into the garden. Right, there's my waders and there's my wetsuit. So the reason I wear my wetsuit under my waders now is there are so many holes in those waders. Yeah, I would just wear the wetsuit if it wasn't for the boots on the waders are perfect for walking on the bottom of the pond. In fact, they're slippy, so to go in either wetsuit boots or bare feet would be counterproductive. Anyway, there's my fish. They've chilled up a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're kind of eating with me overhanging the pond. They're very, very hungry. Yeah, as I said yesterday, it's a little bit cooler. But they are still really, really, well, the air is cooler, but the pond is like 0.4 lower than it was. Can you see the rudd? The rudd love hanging there. Just see those orange shapes. They show up there. Absolutely love it. Anyway, all's going well in the pond. It's a bit murky at the moment, just because I've stirred it all up getting in it. Showing you all of that. Let's wander over here. Now, I hope you can see the difference between the earth up there and the earth there and along the rest of it. So if you can see a line between the cat scratching post and that post you can just see sticking out at the bottom there. I've basically gone over all that earth, broken it up, took out as many stones, or at least the larger stones I can find, and I'm going to do that for the whole rest of it in my ongoing quest to have some decent soil that things will grow in. before I start, whether it's turf or trees or ferns or bushes or whatever it is. I just want to get that earth looking healthy, which without giving anything too away, that's part of that as well. There we go. That's today really. That took me nearly an hour. That's all I'll say. So I'm going to have a little break and I might get back to it later today, but I'm pretty tired. I got up quite early this morning, went for a bit of a 4-mile-ish walk, getting back in the habit. There's my lovely fish. Looking pretty happy with life. If I take this camera off them, they'd be even happier. So yeah, the water's a little bit murky, but I think it's just all settling back down again. And I was saying about the lilies, you can see it's mainly those lilies on the outside that have been eaten away. But yeah, definitely the lilies are covering more of the water and they're big, and there's a couple more coming up to the surface. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year. Well, actually, I'm really looking forward to about 3 years' time, because if all goes well, that might give them a really good kind of coverage in that corner of the pond every summer, which will look ace. Be a nightmare if I need to net them when all the lilies are grown. There's my output. Return from the pond, all doing good. Right, I'm stressing these fish because I've got a selfie stick out. So I'll turn you around. So I'll leave them alone and I'll come back in the house. If it was just me stood there, they'd be far less bothered. Put the camera, selfie stick with the camera on. They don't like it. Right then, that'll do for today. If I do any more, I'll show you and I'll come back on, or I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. I'm day off today, working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Tomorrow should be the big clean on the Tempest and the pressure filter. I'm feeling less than enthusiastic. I have got an idea though. Can I find it? Let me show you my idea. All right, my idea is this. This is a 4 to 1.5 inch reducer. It's a bit dirty, probably should give that a clean. And what I want to use that as is a bit of a funnel when I'm putting all the media back in the Tempest. I think it'll look great. And if you don't know what I mean by that, check out a video up there. And yeah, it's that video again of me cleaning the Tempest. So I take all the media out, clean just to clean the Tempest, not really to clean the media. The media stays pretty clean. It's the Tempest that gets mucky. So yeah, that'll help getting it back in, because that's the biggest pain, is getting it back in. Especially like last time, is I didn't put it back in when I reconnected it, before I reconnected it up to the system, which is a really dumb move. Anyway, I'm waffling. I'm going to shut up. So yeah, I might not do it. I might leave it to the week after, or maybe next week. No, I'm going away next weekend. Anniversary. So having a little brief, very mini break in Paynton in Devon, which is where we got married. So, you know, very nice, very nice. Looking forward to that. And the weather looks reasonable. I'm waffling. Shut up, Andy. Right. So that'll do. If I don't do the pressure filter and Tempest, I will try and get all of that border done, which I know is less pond related. But these vlogs are pond and garden, because the whole atmosphere of the garden and the pond, you know, they work together. God, I've explained that well. I think what I'll do this afternoon is edit that video that I filmed the other day. I've done a fair amount of editing, but I got a lot of editing. Can't talk. I should go, shouldn't I? Right, I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hello, it's Tuesday. Tuesday has been a day of laziness. Well, not laziness, but of finding jobs to do to avoid the jobs I had to do. So today it was, I always forget what it's called. Pressure filter and Tempest big clean. I haven't done it. It was then going to be finishing off the earth, digging over the earth, removing stones from the border of my garden. Didn't do it. Now, in my defence, my head's been really bad today, and I didn't sleep brilliant last night, so that is my defence. It's the best one I've got. So I found numerous jobs to do that are much less difficult. and I'll just very, very quickly go through them. So that desk, I think I showed you it finished yesterday, I can't remember. I've stuck a tape measure to there. Don't ask me why, it doesn't matter. I think I showed you the light and everything. Yeah, that's going to be a good desk to do general tasks. I've already used it for quite a lot already. I'm not going to open the garage door, but I've swept all the tarmacky bit of our drive and got a fair amount of the moss off. I did treat it, but it didn't all come up. Anyway, quickly on, I made another shelf, made a kitchen roll holder, which is quite useful to have out here, and put some of the pond stuff. Got lots of filter flasks, lots of pond electronics that I'm not sure are working, but we won't worry about that. And then I've got all my paving and cement stuff there. Made a new hook for that. That works well. This I've put over here because it's the safest place for it. It's a long bit of PVA pipe with a sharp knife cable tied to it, which I use when I cut back the lilies. So the lilies, if you don't know, lilies die off sort of midwinter. Depends on what the winter's like. But they do kind of break up and decay in the water. So it's good to get rid of them when you can. So another kind of issue I have is that I put the leaf netting on the pond, which is in that blue roll, quite early in the year when the leaves start falling, which is before the lilies completely start decaying away. So what I do is I cut the lilies back, right back to the baskets they're in, which have got a grid on top. So I cut them right back to that when I put the leaf netting on. And I use that knife on a long stick pipe. And I can get right down to where the grid is and cut them off. And yeah, there's a video about that up there. I'll link it. Yeah, it's just easier. Otherwise they decay away when the leaf netting was on and it would be a mess. So what else have I done? So I stuck my ladder up on the wall, been meaning to do that for ages. Dug out the leaf blower. This is all that terrible messy corner down there. Stuck the leaf blower on the wall. Made a really rubbishy shelf up there. That on top of there is some rope and some pond liner in those blue bags. Oh, and I've got two kind of bolt plastic tubs which are inspection tubs, which I did mean to put that measuring thing on, but I completely forgot. But anyway, I've just stuck some wood to the rafters of the garage space and just slid it in, because that was the easiest way of doing it. Right, I'm grabbing some food and I'll show you the other job I've done today. When I say food, obviously I mean food for the fish. I don't mean food for me. Right, I'll just put this food in here. There you go, fish. Now, before I do anything else, I'll just show you. I changed the irrigation system I've made for my wife. I realised I had just about enough speed fit pipe left to use that instead of the hose pipe. Oh, I haven't cut that back. Yeah, that worked a lot better. Be a good time to turn it off. Yeah, it works a lot better. Yeah, still drip for a little bit. Probably left that running a little bit too long. Never mind. Yeah, there's my pond, going well. I got the selfie stick out so the fish are a bit panicky. I thought the common carp had hurt its tail, but it hadn't. I've done zero more on this, as I was saying. My cats have dug it over and probably had a wee or a poo, but I decided to do the clean bit and not dig over some of that and be helpful. But yeah, there we go. See that bucket full of water down there? That's because I still haven't fixed the guttering, but we will draw a veil over that. Yeah, so that's my day today. I've got things done, but none of the big jobs and nothing I really planned to do today, but I felt rough. So just pick up some easy little jobs like making shelves and sorting out my desk. which I quite like. It is quite good. It doesn't mean I spend any more time out here. It's not like a man cave or anything like that. But when I'm out here, I'm just more comfortable. And yeah, so when I was making the speed fit and making holes in that big long pipe, I could just sit down and measure things, watch some telly, and it was just nicer. Yeah, I'm a bit sad, aren't I? Anyway, that's my Tuesday over and done with. 3 days at work, then Saturday. I don't know what I'll get up to. Hopefully I'll start feeling better, because I've got 3 12-hour days coming up. So, I mean, my job isn't that tiring, but, you know, yeah, still a long day, isn't it? Anyway, I'll see you later. Hello, it's Tuesday afternoon. I've gone a long time without filming anything at all. Right, so as you can tell, the audio quality on this recording is not great, and unfortunately it just gets worse for most of the stuff I recorded on my GoPro. So editor Andy, for that is me, is going to take over and just talk you through what I'm waffling about here. So here I'm kind of explaining why it's almost been a week's break between my last video on the vlog, and basically work was really busy, and well, I also went away for the weekend because it was my 28th wedding anniversary, so me and my wife went away, which was really nice. We enjoyed that, and once again got really lucky with the weather for a couple of days. But anyway, I'm also now saying that although it's a Tuesday, I'm in the pond because I'm doing the Monday jobs, even though it's a Tuesday, because I was away enjoying myself in sunny Devon. Anyway, the other thing I'm kind of explaining here as well is why I'm wearing a wetsuit under waders, which seems strange in a relatively warm pond. And basically why it is that the waders have got lots of holes in. So the wetsuit kind of makes up for that. And why I don't wear just the wetsuit is the waders help me not slip over in the pond, because it's quite slippy on the bottom of the pond, and the wader boots are quite good. So anyway, I just give you a little view underwater here. It's a little bit murky, but as you know, I've kind of walking around in the pond kind of stirs things up. But as you can see, the lilies have really taken over on that side of the pond, and the fish don't particularly mind me being in the pond, but they don't particularly like me pointing a camera at them very much and kind of following around, and I don't do anything for their sense of security. But yeah, it's a massive lily. Are they called stems or roots? I don't know what they're called. As I've said many times, I'm not great with plants. But yeah, that's underneath the water, beneath the lilies of the pond, which I think is pretty good. Anyway, I popped the GoPro back out again, and I'm just explaining I'm going to crack on with some of the jobs, and I'll catch you in a bit. So, still awful sound, so I'll dub over again, and basically here's past me, just showing you how I've cut back the plants, and I'm also talking about the fact that each week I'm kind of having to cut less and less, so growth is definitely slowing. I'm also explaining why I've got cable ties around some of the stems there of the irises, and that's basically because a few of them are kind of leaning over a little bit, but I didn't really want to cut them right back to the base or anything like that, so I've just kind of attached them to the ones nearest to them and given them a bit more growth. It looks a bit ugly, but I think it's probably better than sort of cutting them back to where they're bending. And as we go around now, we're looking at the lilies, which once again have better growth than last year, which is brilliant. So each year I'm getting a couple more pads, and they're definitely growing bigger and more robust. The big problem this year, as I've talked about, and as this shot is demonstrating, where pellets get mixed up with the edge of the group of lily pads, the fish kind of, you know, eat some of the pads whilst they're getting the pellets. and that's fine, and the rest of it's growing quite well. As you can see there, I got a couple of flowers. One's opening up, or partially opening up, and the other I don't think it's quite there yet, but that's good. That's good. And there's a few snails as well, which probably are better off not falling in the water because the carp will eat them. From my experience, they do love snails. Now the water's even more murky, so I back out of that as an idea. Now what I'm going to show you now is how well it's gone with the algae treatment. There was quite long string algae on that wall, and it's pretty much all gone, which is brilliant, without too much blocking up of the filters, which is doubly good. So I'm pretty pleased with how that's gone. This is me back in the garage with almost worst sound and some very bad not remotely hiding the GoPro selfie stick, which to be honest is used for a myriad of different purposes and not usually as a selfie stick. So anyway, I'm waffling on about that. My garage is quite tidy, which usually means I've not been getting up to much, because if I've been doing some work in the garage, making anything either for the pond or the garden, the garage is usually a bit of a mess, and if it's quite tidy, that means I've not been up to much. So yeah, it's quite tidy, so yeah, not a lot done. So a bit of an edit, and I'm explaining here why I'm using the GoPro and not my iPhone. And basically I'd done a lot of filming with my iPhone, and I had quite big video files that were taking a long time to transfer to the computer. Anyway, that's kind of boring, so I'm taking you back outside, showing you the fish who are, you know, pretty happy with life. And here's a bit of a problem that I've fixed. As you know, I'm digging up this border to try and make it into something that's a healthy piece of earth, but I put a hole in my underground drainage pipe, so I had to get it out and dig it out of the ground, which it wasn't that deep to be honest, and then do a little bit of a fix, which I haven't filmed very well. As you can see, I don't really film with my GoPro very much. Now, the other reason why the sound of the GoPro is quite so bad is I've got its underwater case on. And I'm sure you'll tell me you don't always need to put an underwater case on a GoPro. And you'd be right, you don't. But I'm too scared to put it on in the pond without it. So it had its case on as well, which makes the sound even worse. Anyway, I'll be back with the iPhone very soon on the next bit of videoing. And it's a lovely day, as you can see. All is well in the garden. Oh, back under the water. Yeah, it's pretty cloudy. My TDS is probably about 17.5 million, I think. Actually, sunny days makes it look worse, because it just kind of accentuates a lot of the detritus or just bubbles that are in the water. Not sure what I'm doing now. Oh, I'm switching it back to show me. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I don't think I've got a lot else to show you, and we'll cut any minute for another day, and I'll see you in a bit. Hello. Right, I finished all the weekly Saturday cleaning, just filling the pond back up. I've added a little new task to my weekly cleaning. It might not be weekly cleaning, I might not do it every week, but I did film it, and I'm going to show you that now. Right, I don't know if this is going to work, but I wanted to show you an addition to my cleaning that I do now. So I've just boiled the 2 static beds, and I'm going to focus now on this end one. Now, if you don't know, I drain this end one after I boil them by draining it down to the vortex, and then I pump it away from there. But as you can imagine, that's probably not the most efficient way of getting muck out. So I'm very conscious that there's probably some dirt and muck that stays in the bottom, and in fact I know there is, because a few weeks ago I cleaned it all out and it was pretty disgusting. So I want to do it more regularly. Now, it's easier to do it when the water is still in, because it's easier to get the media out. And then I'll just show you what I'll do. So I'm going to turn the air off. just so it's easier. And then I'm going to net all the media out. I will probably fast forward this, so see you in a bit. I shouldn't be too long, but I'll pour a bit of water over the top of them to keep them wet, because although this isn't biological filtration? Yeah, biological filtration. It's mechanical. They're still doing a bit of biological filtration, so it would be silly to spoil that. There we go. Right, so the next step is to and get my hand in there properly. Oh yeah, probably help to move this. So get the air disc out, some more media, and a lot more media. Right. Well, I managed to catch that. That was lucky. Right, get this disc out and give this media grid out and give that a clean. You won't be able to see that. Right. So what I'm doing now is I'm dropping the vortex chamber and giving this a bit of a scrub to help any loose stuff go down the drain when I drain it. So the media and boiling it does prevent a lot of the detritus and whatnot from going into the moving bed. In fact, very little or none does. But it doesn't all flush to the vortex and then get flushed out of the system. So I think this is going to become part of my weekly cleaning. I mean, I'll see, but when I'm doing it weekly, I may find over time that it doesn't necessarily need to be done weekly. Like once I get on top of it, you know, fortnightly might be enough, and then in the winter maybe only monthly. In the meantime, I'm going to do it every week. Right, now I'm dropping the water into the vortex. The camera is directly in the way, which is why I'm slightly non-coordinated. Non-coordinated, is that a word? I don't know. Discoordinated, uncoordinated, something. I mean, I think I could at a pinch, not every week, but certainly weeks when I clean this, put the dirty water pump in, and I think it would stretch, and that would be a lot quicker. Now I used to have what's it called, Japanese matting in this end compartment, but I always found that a real pain in the bum to clean, more than this is a pain in the bum. And so over time I switched it over to this, and I think in terms of catching detritus it kind of does a good job. So, and you know, the normal cleaning when just boil it definitely works. Right then, I'm going to scoop out that last bit of water. I'm not sure you can see, it's much cleaner, it's not perfect, but I'm going to scoop out some of that last bits of water, and then that'll be job done, and I'll put everything back. So I think that's enough of that for you. I will see you to end this, I was going to say this week's vlog, but this fortnight's vlog in a bit. Right, so yeah, didn't go brilliantly actually, because there was something I didn't foresee. Yeah, it's okay. There is a bit of a leak between the two last bays where some of the sealant has come away, and I may just fix that with some tape, or I may fix it with sealant. I haven't decided yet. That's a job at some point in the future. I'll either get up tomorrow morning and do it, or it'll be in 3 weeks' time. Who knows? Yeah, everything's good in the pond. Fish are looking great. The fish with carp box seems to be losing a bit every kind of week, which is great. So yeah, all good with the pond. Probably never going to film my GoPro again. I think that's the takeaway from this, from this fortnight of vlogging, or at least never use it with the case on it, that's for sure. But I hope you enjoyed how I got away with that and dubbed over. But yeah, that's it for this fortnight. Hopefully I'll do the week next week. But this vlog was never meant to be on a really tight schedule. It's meant to be relatively free and easy. You may know I've got 2 videos that I've done a lot of filming for. One that I'm definitely putting together, which, as I said, is the carp fin video, and another I tried to do some. There's a tumble dryer. I tried to do some. There we go. Filming of the pond during dawn, trying to get some atmospheric stuff. I don't think it's good enough for a whole video to itself, but I might well be using it as B-roll, but I need to go through it and edit it and decide what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, that's that. Anyway, been a long fortnight. Not so much of a long vlog, though, a little bit shorter, but as I say all the time, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I am still at 918. Actually, I lost 3 or 4 subscribers, and then I've got some new subscribers. So I've kind of gone up 4, but I went down 4. So anyway, I'm still at 918, which is still 82 away from the 1,000. Yeah, there you go. If you're not subscribed, please do. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, once again, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.